Cool. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. We are here again, round two with Jaylon Martin. How are you?
Doing good.
Very good. You got the new microphone. I like that.
Yep. Hope I sound better.
No, it's pretty good. I got to upgrade like that. I think it makes a big difference on the video quality, audio quality. It helps people stay engaged with it. So like, it's never bad to invest in yourself and get some stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, so I've been seeing you all over Facebook. You've been on the news and stuff talking about your books.
I've been on the news, country radio, um, basically trying to check off the boxes to get I talk to horses out there.
I don't want to be selfish here, but for my own curiosity, how do you get yourself on a country radio station? Because like that sounds
I
like a
didn't
hell of
even
a lot of fun.
I didn't even know it was a country radio station. I have this other author friend named TC Elliott who owns
Mhm.
his own radio station. So when I
Damn.
was doing like when I got to his place to do the interview, I was like
Yeah.
really surprised. I was like, "Holy cow, it's a country radio station." So we bonded instantly.
Damn. So then what about like the local news? Like how do you find yourself on a local news network talking about your books?
I have a good friend and a good publicist who hooked that up for me, and it went really good.
Damn. So you did pick up a publicist along the way.
Yes.
Yeah. How long you been working with the publicist? Like I'm not sure if you had that last I think our first episode was like 6 months ago or something.
Yeah, like 6 months ago. I don't remember when, but it was definitely like beginning of the year.
Yeah. So, I mean, since that time, or were you working with this publicist like for a while, like even in advance of release of the book?
I've been working with him for over a year.
Wow. So how do you find a publicist? Like I don't even necessarily know.
Well, some authors work as their own publicists. It's kind of like a thing in the indie publishing thing. Like you got to be
Yeah.
your own publicist, your own marketing manager, your own booking agent, because in the indie publishing world, you're basically doing everything on your own, you know?
Yeah. So how's the feedback been on the book? I mean, like I think our last episode, it was like a couple days before the release of the
A
poetry
couple
collection.
weeks, a couple
Yeah, I mean, it
weeks.
was close. Like it hadn't been out yet. So like since that time, it looks like, I mean, book's been on the move and you've been like hustling, you've been out there and the book
Yes.
is going all over. It's got a whole like life of its own now.
I've been receiving extremely good feedback, rave reviews. It's actually my first best-selling book on Amazon.
Damn. So, okay, to meet the criteria for a best-selling book, is that because I know like okay, like New York Times, they have a criteria that's like a certain number of books in a week for
Yes.
whatever it is, 2 weeks or something. What is the Amazon criteria?
Not really sure about the Amazon criteria. I just knew that I woke up one morning and my book was in the top 10 in three different categories.
Damn. And it's like stayed there. It wasn't just like a one day thing. It's like, oh, it's kind of hanging on in the spot for a
It
bit.
was it was in the top 10 in those categories for a good 2.5 weeks.
Wow. Well,
Yes.
congratulations on that. Honestly, I'm not sure if I've seen another indie author do that yet. Like I've seen people who have already made it. I see people who are trying to
Yes.
make it, but I haven't seen. I think you're the first person I've spoken with who's like crossed the threshold from like, hey, I wrote a book to like the book is doing things even when I'm sleeping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that. That's yeah. And
Thank you.
for my
Thank
own
you.
selfish reasons, I want to pick your brain endlessly about that. But we'll stay on task here because you've got another book about to come out, correct?
I just finished my seventh book. So I Talk to Horses will be my last poetry book. We can get into that later as of why, but my seventh book will be a fantasy novel that takes place at a magical college university that'll be releasing possibly May of 2026.
Okay. Okay. So how far into writing that book are you?
So I've started writing that book back all the way back in the COVID-19 era. So back in
Oh,
2020, and then I finished
yeah.
it back in 2021. So the book was always finished, but I
Yeah.
kept going back and forth trying to change things. And so one day I was just like, do I really want to rewrite a about 400 plus page manuscript all
Oh,
over from scratch when it's already done? So one day I'm just like, you know what? This is going to be a big series, so whatever I have for the first book, I just edited through that, and then I'm gonna save it for like the next sequel, because that's the beauty of doing a series. Because whatever
Yeah.
ideas that you're not able to incorporate in the first book, you can always save it for like the next books.
I feel like that's kind of how series probably emerge. Like they probably start as one off, and then you're like, there's like too many ideas and there's too many loose ends, and I can't tie it all together. And you're like, but these characters still have life, and like they're not done. Their journey's not over. But I have a natural
Yes,
concluding point for book one. But there's more we need to do here. Yeah.
absolutely.
So the book's already written, but you're holding on to it until next March.
So it's in the beta reader stage right now. I've sent
Okay.
it to at least six beta readers who are like reading the book,
Yeah.
giving me
Yeah.
like some feedback, because I consider this book as my life work, because it's the biggest book I've ever written.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
I put it out there, I want to make sure like it's the best quality possible.
Yeah, that's the thing. See, I get this wrong personally. Like I am all inspiration and hype, and I'm either like in or out on a thing, right? I've got to be 100% or like I don't care. So like
Yes,
I can't hold a book. Like I'm like it's done. Let's throw it out in the world. And but the truth
yes,
is, once it's out there, it lives forever. So like getting it right the first time is a very very valuable thing to do.
absolutely.
Yeah. So what inspired that particular book?
So I've always loved fantasy growing up. So ever since I was little, like my mom would always read me a story before bed, and that definitely
Okay.
resonated in me. I've always loved fantasy. Um, Growing up, my favorite Disney character was Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Like
Yeah,
that
my
was
wife too. It's her favorite.
Yes,
Yeah.
I freaking loved Belle when I was
Yeah.
little. It didn't even matter to me that I was a dude and she was a woman. I just resonated with her because we both had a love of books. And
Yeah.
with there's this one scene where the Beast basically gives her an entire library. That's probably one of my most favorite scenes in any movie ever, because she was
Yeah.
just genuinely just surprised. And growing up, I've always like loved like fantasy shows. My favorite TV show to this very day is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay.
I've seen all seven seasons so many times. I know the lines forward and backward. I love
Right.
that show. It's
Yeah.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, True Blood, Vampire Diaries. Like I
Yeah.
just really love fantasy.
I get all that. So it was like, okay, I always wanted to, write something like this, and then the idea just came along, and
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, um, so I wrote this book when I was a freshman at McNeese State University.
hmm,
So all of everything that I experienced, all my college experiences are kind of intertwined in this book. It's basically my college adventure, but in a metaphorical sense.
okay, magical,
Yes.
metaphorical. So like kind of half true. I don't know if any fiction is really fiction, right? Like if it was really fiction, I don't think it would connect, right?
Yes.
So like there's some thread in all fiction that is almost more true than reality. Give you an
Absolutely.
example because I've been thinking about this one lately. So J.K. Rowling, I know she's very controversial, but as a writer, brilliant. She
Yes.
wrote this thing. The first Horcrux is a book, and it was like Voldemort trying to survive, put his soul into a book. And I thought about that, and I was like, God, every time you write a book, you really do give a piece of yourself that you'll never get back. But the
Absolutely.
exchange is that the book will live way longer than you will. And
Oh
I was like,
yes.
J.K. Rowling's a genius. I'm like, that is very, very true, metaphorical kind of. I was like, yeah, no, that hits home. That's real.
Yeah.
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 And so let me ask you. So you kind of sought me out to do this show here. Was there a specific like project or move or something? Like, it felt like there was some news, on your end that like, hey, we got something in the works that I want to talk about.
Yes. So aside from my next book coming out next year, I actually have another project coming out next month on August the 15th. So
Okay.
I recorded something called a spoken word country album for I Talk to Horses. So I recorded in like a recording studio, all 22 poems in the book, accompanied by country music instrumentals that a good friend of mine struck on his guitar, and I just added like a lot of feeling into like the way I speak it. So readers will be able to listen to my voice and his instrumentals while reading the book or just listening to the album.
Damn, I don't even know what to ask you about that, but I love it. Like
Yeah,
just from
I
the
just
jump, I love it. I love it. Love that idea. Is that going to come out like as an audiobook or?
mm, audiobook, but we're mainly been dubbing it as like a spoken word country album.
Yeah, but I mean, is it going to be something that's like on Spotify or is it going to be on like Audible or
Yes,
like where is it going to be available?
it'll be all on all music streaming platforms.
Damn. Oh, I love that. So like people can kind of get a sense of like if they hear it the way that you're reading it, the way that you're feeling it, they can like take it even a step deeper than just, reading it on paper. Like they can kind of get a little bit of that soulfulness or, get a little insight from the.
They would absolutely be able to feel it 10 times more because I've been getting like a lot of feedback. People wanted like the deeper meanings of a lot of these poems, and I felt like I owed that to my readers to not just put it out on paper and hand it to them, but also
Right.
hear it in my voice and offer like a bit of context like behind these poems as well.
Yeah. I love that. I go back and forth on the giving readers an answer. Like
Yes,
Hemingway, for example, never gives you an answer. He just like every book ends with like, well, life is hard and we just like that's just it, right? And then you end
right.
up thinking about them for a very long time because there are questions you can't answer. So it's always a debate between whether you like should tell the reader exactly what it is or let them mull it over for a long time. But I love that idea. So there's a collaboration with your friend. Your friend is a musician, and you got some
Yes,
studio space, and you're like, we could bring this all together. Like, let's do it. Let's powwow and make it happen.
absolutely. So I tell people all the time that I Talk to Horses is possibly my most favorite book I've ever written because I wrote it with a still healing mindset. I'd be lying if I said I was completely healed because
Right.
I'm far from completely healed. But I've written it in like a mindset that is healing and that it feels like it's healing as well. And I felt like I just wasn't done with just writing the book. So I just felt like I needed to do more with this project because I didn't just want to just move on to the next thing. Like there was something more that I had to do with it,
Yeah.
especially when I'm discussing things like addiction,
Yeah.
healing, um, heartbreak, things that we've all have gone through.
Right. And may, have good days and bad days where you regress a little and you progress a little. And I think it takes a lot of humility to admit that healing is a lifelong journey. Like it's
Yes,
never done. Like, if your work is done, I think God would just like take you up to heaven. Like none of our work is
yes,
done. I mean, like there's growing and improving every single day. There's deepening in your wisdom and deepening in your like love for
yeah,
family, friends, fellow human being for this life, and self love too, right? I mean, that's a big thing people really, really wrestle with is like, and we know
absolutely.
that true, like people, if you like, for example, if people get a prescription filled for their dog, 9 out of 10 people will like diligently, relentlessly, 2, 3 times a day give that medication to the pet. But like when it comes to us, 50% of, we don't refill, you know what I mean? Like if you're on an
Yes,
antibiotic, it's like 50% of people only do like the first couple days. And we just don't seem to like ourselves that much. It's kind of the impression. Like you see the way we take care of ourselves. Like there's self love is something we all should probably work on a bit. Yeah.
absolutely.
So you still, so what was the name of the horse?
Bo.
Bo. How's Bo doing?
Oh, Bo is just wonderful. I just went seen him last weekend. I took one of my friends that I met in AA to the ranch because
Yeah.
I've been telling people like about the ranch I go visit and that
Yeah.
that it's very healing, that it absolutely works. And so Bo is doing very good. Like it's to the point like when I go visit him, like the ranchers already have him stalled up in the stable. Like I never tell them when I'm coming, but every time I come, they're like, he's already stalled up. And I'm like, really?
We just
And
know we
then
had a
like
feeling you were on the way.
he was just wandering in the pastures when I went visit him. And so I
Yeah.
didn't say nothing. I just whispered the name. I was like, Bo. And then he turned around and he just immediately walked up to me like he was just waiting for me.
Uh, it is a genuine friendship. Horses are so smart, and it like freaks me out almost how well they can perceive emotions. Like if you walk up,
Absolutely.
if you were like, let's say you're on the way to go ride horses, and you like got in an argument with your spouse or whoever on the way there, like the horses feel that immediately. I mean, they're like, you got to watch your energy around horses. You know? They
Yes,
can read you. Yeah.
I feel like Bo can feel that that I'm in the process of healing because I haven't rode him yet. So that is something that I'm going to be working on really soon. Like him and I,
Yeah.
we've bonded and been friends for over a year. Like I
Hmm.
believe it's time. The ranchers say it's time. So that'll be like my next step is like to just riding him because horses, like I say all the time, like they feel what we feel. And I think Bo can feel that I wasn't ready to ride him just yet. I could feel that
Yeah.
he's taking the steps with me. Like I said
Mm.
on the news when I went to my local news network, KPLC, and I told the lady that him and I we're learning from each other. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
like he's healing me from some dark things and he doesn't even like realizing it, but he is
Right.
willing to take that step with me.
I love that. Horses are magic. Dogs are magic. I don't know. It is so weird we have a relationship with these creatures. Like you could, as a biologist or something, or evolutionary biologist, you could diminish it down to like, well, there's a natural relationship. Horses like hay and we grow hay. But
Yeah,
it really doesn't explain the dynamic of like, they love us as much as we love them. And
absolutely.
it's a beautiful feature of nature in the world. But I will say, you sparked this idea in me. It was kind of a neural connection you helped me form just now. So, like the whole idea of like going to work with horses as like a form of therapy and rehab. I heard this thing a while back that like if you've got two containers of mice and you put cocaine
Yes.
in both of them, the
Oh,
mouse that's in there by itself will like do all of the cocaine until it dies.
I've
But if
never heard of
yeah,
that.
but if the mice are together, none of them do it at all. And I think maybe one of these big elements of addictive behavior is the perception of isolation, whether it's like literal or just something you're perceiving. But this whole disconnected, being alone, being isolated, not having a network, there is some direct relationship between the way we abuse ourselves and how connected we feel. So, like, this idea of bringing people to, like, okay, you know what, we're going to go out in nature, we're going to be surrounded by trees, prairie grass, get a little sunshine on us, and like, we're going to work with these extraordinary horses, we're going to get our hands dirty. We're going to do something just honest and good and connected. And there's no one there who's like on a phone, right? Like texting. It's
Right.
like you're very present when you're doing that kind of thing. And I think there is something so tremendously healing about that. Like that's where we should start when it comes to like trying to help people. I think
Absolutely.
honestly. Oh, I'm excited for your God. So I love this idea of like who you know. That's something we like don't necessarily appreciate as much as authors, but it's like you we're all surrounded by extraordinary people, and we just maybe sometimes lack the creativity to be like, hey, how do we put our different things together? So like you know, it wouldn't necessarily come to most people like, hey, my friend is a great guitar player, musician, and we got another friend who's got a studio, and I wrote poetry. But you had
Yes,
this idea like, oh, we could bring this all together here.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's basically what happened. Like we like my friend name is Taylor. He's like a local guitarist around here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like when we started recording and everything, we didn't I didn't even realize that we knew the same exact people. And then I started meeting like random like guitar players and instrumentalists and
Right.
that's like, hey, do you know Taylor? Do you know Marcus? And I'm like, yes, I know them. And then I
Yeah.
go back and I talk to him like, hey, I ran into your friend Charlie. And there's like, you met Charlie? And I'm like, I've accidentally met. So they're all in a band together. And
Whoa.
one by one, I have individually met everybody in the band without them even intentionally introducing me to the band players.
You've just been running parallel to these people and coming across them through different means. And you're like, wait, you guys are all in a band? And you're like,
Do
have this
something like
epiphany.
together. Yes.
Ah. Oh, hey, am I cutting out? I just got a message that my internet is unstable. I don't know if I'm cutting out on you at all, but
Oh, I can still hear you. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Even if I freeze up a little, as long as you can hear me. I
Okay.
love it. I feel like the people we meet, like it is no coincidence. I mean,
Yes.
it's funny and serendipitous, and like it's always logical, right? The story's never incoherent, but in terms of how things come together, I mean, it is so interesting and unpredictable and ironic and kind of funny how things shake out, right? Yeah, like exactly like what you're talking about.
It's funny that you mentioned that. So, before the album releases on August 15th, we're releasing three singles. The first single called Thank You, Sherry. Um, it's a poem about um, a good woman that I've met a year ago. She
Mhm.
passed away last July 4th. And so when I was in McNeese, when I was going through my recovery process and also preparing for the first play that I did at McNeese that I wrote, directed, starred in with no budget. I met her
Well,
like on Facebook and we just instantly just became friends and she supported like every single thing that I did. And it's funny the timing that she came into my life was just like no coincidence because I was going through like a lot of hurt. Um, a lot of people were just like walking out of my life with just like no answer and explanation
mm,
whatsoever. But this woman who just instantly just walks into my life without even knowing my past and was able to like embrace me like in seconds, like that was no accident
right.
whatsoever.
No, the timing, and like if you had met this person at a different part of recovery or before the recovery, maybe it wouldn't have connected, right? I have heard a thing like as you're, let's say, spiritually evolving, it's almost
Yes,
like a snake shedding skin. Like there's going to be these things that like fall off, like relationships. Some of them, they just like, I don't know, they just don't fit anymore. They're just like the energy doesn't match or something. But that is a real phenomenon where like certain things scoot aside so that other things can come in and um, it is interesting. You see that a lot.
yeah. And so
Mhm.
that's the strange thing that I'm still comprehending about grief because we've all heard these sayings saying like if he wanted to, he would. If she wanted to, she would. If they
Yeah.
wanted to, they would. I had to, it was a hard thing to process for a long time. And I just had to realize like if these people wanted to like stay in my life, they would have stayed in my life. But
Mhm.
that's like that's what basically the deep meaning of my poem, which is one of my favorite poems in the book, Brown Eyed Lucifer.
Yeah.
Basically, the deeper meaning of it is when people walk out of your life, they have no idea that they are doing you a huge favor. And that's what clicks in my mind every time I find myself like in grief of the people who just no longer in my life. I just tell myself I'm like they didn't even realize that they're doing like one last good thing or the only good thing that they ever did for me.
Yeah, God, people are so damn complicated, right? Like I philosophically try not to make the mistake of like using any sort of universal statement about human beings. So, like for
Yes.
example, I have a friend I'm not friends with anymore, but like a girl I was friends with since I was like 14. She would get out of a relationship and she was like, "I'm done." Like there was no bond or attachment ever formed. Like she was, it was like throwing away like a shirt with a hole in it. Like no, it was done, and like doesn't care if she never speaks to this person ever again. Like no attachment. I perceive you as someone who probably gets too attached and you're like, God, like,
Absolutely.
if you form a bond with someone, like it just doesn't just break because you say so. It's like, those threads hang on, right? So like for you, you might need to tell yourself like, hey, this is a blessing in disguise, and like God, is taking these people out, moving these people in, and that's the
Yes.
right story. But like for this person, that's kind of always been their story, and it's not. This is so it's like we all got to find the thing that connects with whatever our nature and situation is. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. But I love that. I love writing as a form of therapy, treatment, processing. And I think that's so valuable, right? Like it's not just, it's like you're healing yourself, you're working on your own healing, but along the way, you can maybe give other people a little bit of boost. And it's maybe like just enough to get them over the hill, right? Like they've got 95% of the strength they need, and they just need a little bit of like encouragement, connection, relatability, a little bit of hope.
Yes.
from the exterior world, right? That they're maybe not getting from their immediate environment.
Yeah.
I think the work you're doing, even if you don't necessarily mean to directly, right? Not that you don't mean to either, but I think you're doing really good work just by authentically making the art you want to make.
Yes. So regardless if it's poetry or fantasy, I feel like my audience has always been towards like the young adult, new adult audience. So basically everything I've written has always been aimed at the college audience. Because like I
Right.
tell people, I've had good times in college and I've had bad times. The good
Yeah.
times, I definitely be like, damn, I wish I could go back. But the bad times, it just makes me always like just pray and be like, I hope I never go through anything like this again. Because the bad times weren't just bad, they were devastating to the point where
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to get through a semester. I was trying to survive a semester. And that's
Yeah.
not a good feeling at all.
No, and a lot of people, even outside of the college environment, let's say right now, like with the economic situation in our
Yeah.
country and around the world, and then like the perpetual news about the war here, the war there.
Yes.
People are in that place where they're like, like, oh, I should be saving money for retirement. They're like, retirement, like I don't know how I'm going to pay the rent tomorrow. You know what I mean? Uh,
Yes.
and people do got to realize that like there's certain problems you outlast. There's certain ones you solve. There's certain you outlast. Some seasons, the best you can do is just outlast, right? You're like, I got to look at today. I got to get through today. Not going to
Yes.
worry about tomorrow. When I wake up tomorrow, I'll think about and worry about tomorrow. But like right now, we're gonna get some food in our stomach. We're gonna pay the bills. You know what I mean? Um,
Yes.
so I think that message is relatable even outside of. But I will say, in that college environment, back in my college days, I came across a psychedelic sex cult, and it was this
Jesus.
weird, weird dude who was just like using drugs to try to control like 18, 19, 20 year olds. And he ruined a couple people's lives that like dropped out of school and they're like, we're going to go around the country playing instruments. It was like, so I was trying to like kind of stop this guy while also being young and stupid and having no idea how you break up a cult. Um, but all that's to say, like, it's a very vulnerable population, right? I mean, like, these
Absolutely.
young people, they're psychologically children, but they have, adult bodies and adult consequences when it comes to the law and legal ramifications and decisions. And, like they're getting introduced to responsibility and they're getting
Yes.
introduced to the whole concept of the future that they're like, oh, wait, someday I'm going to need to have a career and I'm going to need to have my education. I'm going to need to do this and that. And like, they're very susceptible to all kinds of things, peer pressure, influence.
Yes.
So I think going and talking to that group in particular and giving them a little bit of strength, fortify them a little bit, definitely a valuable thing to do.
Absolutely. That's why I do what I do because like I was telling a friend yesterday, um I feel like I would be the most selfish person in the world if I would have just sat on my hands and just not shared anything regardless of regarding to my feeling to my experiences of alcoholism, um, heartache, heartbreak, anxiety, all of those things I've experienced because there's somebody who's either going into college or still in college who's going to be experiencing those feelings and needs to know how to get through them because if I had somebody who offered me like those experiences to like what I was experiencing, I think I probably would have turned out completely different.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like the journey's perfect, right? Like even though like there's this thing when you're growing grapes, if you just let
Yes.
the vine grow, it'll just grow a giant vine and it'll produce no fruit. But if you cut it a lot, cut off everything that doesn't need to be there, you make the
Yes.
thing struggle, it grows incredible fruit. And I feel like human beings are like that. You know what I mean? Like if you don't go through anything, you don't produce anything valuable. So like I will say, a lot of people probably have been kind of where you've been, like obviously different, nuanced details, but the general idea of like I made these choices, ended up in this place, and a lot of them wouldn't have the courage to like discuss it openly. So like for
That's the
you,
thing.
yeah, go ahead, tell me
that,
about that.
that's the thing. That's the thing about that word openly. I share my experiences in the poems, if I talk to horses, because earlier I know I've said like I do owe my readers like an explanation of what certain things mean, but there are
Hmm.
certain themes in the poetry book that I'm open about my alcoholism, but there are certain things that I talk about and I talk to horses that I'm gonna just be flat out honest that I'm never ever gonna be ready to share because one, I'm still unhealed, still healing from it.
Yeah.
And two, it's just that traumatic. It's not that I don't want my readers to know. It's
Hmm.
just it's extremely painful. That's why I tend to tell people about my last book, Recovery Ride. I tell people out of all the books I've written 6 books now. Out of all of the
Hmm.
books I've written, Recovery Ride has to be my least favorite because I went into writing that book unhealed. And
Yeah.
when I do go back and read like even one poem from that
Hmm.
book, it takes me back to that summer of 2023 when I was going through all of that pain and hardship. Like I'm feeling it all over again. Maybe there'll come a day where I will be ready to share my experiences, but as of right now, what I give to my readers, that's all I'm able to give them.
Yeah. That book is like a voodoo doll. I'll tell you a quick story. I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Their song Under the
Yes,
Bridge, it's their most famous song. But Anthony Kiedis says is also the most painful, right? It's like
right.
this is a song about the worst day of my life when like my decisions, I thought took away my entire future and everything that I love because I was sacrificing everything I love in the future for like what I immediately need right now. And it's like every time we perform that song, just like you said, it's taking me back to, you know, he says, I don't ever want to
Yes,
feel like I did that day. And it's like every time I perform this song, um, but I don't know, like that genuine, it's so genuine, like it connects, even if it's painful for the artist. What
yes,
people want is the genuine experience and authenticity. So like that is one thing where like, we like put ourselves out there in a way where we're very vulnerable and mushy, but it
yes.
means so much to the people who enjoy it. So it's like a hit we take that maybe people don't realize that, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack in there.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
But
so
it
you
doesn't
said,
mean that I don't regret writing Recovery Ride. I'm glad that I wrote it, especially
right?
for people out there who are going through addiction. But as like art, like artistically speaking, it's not my favorite because of the strings that it still has on my heart, you know.
Yeah. Let me ask you, and that makes a lot of sense that like it takes you back. And I can imagine people in different parts of that journey are going to connect with, one book over the other at a given moment, right? Like if they're in the thick
Right.
of it, maybe this, recovery ride will be like, okay, maybe we should make a change, or maybe, I'm feeling a little stronger to maybe redirect this thing. And then as they're starting to, climb out of the hole kind of thing, I talk to horses
Absolutely.
and be like, a little bit of give a little encouragement, little love, little
Yes.
inspiration along the way to keep pushing forward, something like that, maybe. So they both need to happen, right? Like they're
Yes.
two parts of the same coin or something like that.
Yes.
Hey, let me ask you this, just philosophically. There's no right or wrong answer here.
Okay.
Are you to this day, and I'm going to use the word disturbed, but not that you're disturbed, but like, are you more disturbed by bad things that have been done to you or mistakes that you have made? Like, which is more painful?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm gonna have to dissect on both sides
Sure, sure.
to give like a clear answer. So as far as the mistakes I've made, I feel like I've completely forgiven myself of everything that I've done on regarding my alcoholism because May 5th, 2023 still haunts me when I go to sleep at night. It like no matter how many years of sobriety I reach, that night still haunts me because it didn't even felt like I was like myself. It just felt like I just let the tequila take over. So
The
the
spirits, right?
mistakes, yeah, so the mistakes, I feel like I've forgiven myself for it, but the scars are still there. But as far as disturbed by the things people have done to me,
Yeah.
I don't think I would use the word disturbed. I believe I would use the word wounded. I'm
Okay.
very, very wounded. I keep a very small circle. Like I think like I'm only friends with like one of my one friend I went to college with, and as far
Yeah.
as everybody else is like I hang out with a bunch of 50-year-olds, and I'm 24. Like
Yeah.
I keep a circle small intentionally, not because I dislike people. I love people. People consider me an extrovert. But the
Yeah. Yeah.
thing is, like when you're so like out in the open, you're very susceptible to and when you like befriend so many people, there's always that gonna be that one friend or multiple people in the crowd that just would not want to see you excel. And so
Yeah.
there was a time in my life where in college I was around a group of people that made me growing in any sort of sense forbidden to me, and that's what made me
Right.
realize that I have to get away from these people, and I have to get away from these people as soon as possible. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. No, it does. It really does. And it's tough. Like, forgiving yourself is
Yes.
huge. A lot of people struggle with that. And a lot of people get in these cycles where, like, you're upset with yourself about some bad choices, you dislike yourself, but then you
Yes.
have to take actions that make you further dislike yourself to reinforce why you dislike yourself. And you see these people who get caught in these cycles of like, I don't like myself and I want to give myself reasons to validate why I don't. And it's just like opposite of healing, right? It's just people spiraling out of control. So like being able to forgive yourself is huge. Being able to forgive others too. I mean, a whole other thing. They're actually two entirely different skill sets. Like I'm better at forgiving others than like letting my own giving myself grace. Like
Yes.
for other, and it's like, but we all got a thing, right? But it's interesting that they're two entirely different skills. But you're absolutely right about the inner circle, right? Like there are going to be people around you who don't really want to see you thrive. Even Jesus
Absolutely
said something
not.
like you can't be a prophet in your hometown, right? Like there's going to be people that you've known for a long time, and if you do anything for yourself that's beneficial, like if they're not doing the same thing, consciously or unconsciously, they may try to like suppress that or put you in a little box of like, no, we know you, you can't
Absolutely.
change. Like you stay in your little box where we have you all mapped out, and you're like, I want to, maybe want to do something different, be someone different, get better with time, and you got to be around people who have the same mindset that like we came here to grow. Like we didn't come here to just be stagnant and float around and do the same
Absolutely not.
things. Yeah. Zoom is going to kick us out shortly. So, okay, you said August 15th for the
I Talk to Horses, the album.
I Talk to Horses, the album. And then you said that's going to be everywhere, like Spotify, Apple. It's going to be available on all the stuff. I will make
Absolutely.
sure there's links in the description and everything. Do you want me to hold on to this episode at all until like you're closer to the release, or we just like? I mean, we can build hype in advance too. I know it looks like we're like a
Let's
month and 5 days out.
let's build the hype because there are some singles I'm releasing before the album.
Okay. Well, I would
Yep.
love that. Yeah, and as soon as I can even add them to this show link later. So like as soon as those start coming in, just send me an email. I'll just drop them in. But I'm stoked
Absolutely.
personally to even check them out. So man, this is cool. I'm excited for you. I'm stoked about everything you're doing and where it's all
Thank
headed here.
you. Thank you so much.
Cool. I appreciate it, Jaylon. We'll see you soon, okay?
Okay, good deal.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.